Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Zarka Dickinson here on a wonderful Saturday night. This video will be released just before it becomes Sunday. Sorry for the late video, but stuff happens and this is just how it is. And I'm getting the video out on the day at least. But it's always a mixed bag of views and stuff. But today is the two books that I have recently read, and I'll also show what book I am currently reading. I'll start. So, my two recent reads are God's Not Dead and Project Hail Mary. God's Not Dead was written which I think to be after the movie had come out, because there's a few God's Not Dead movies, and it's a movie portraying that God is still alive in our world and still actively doing miracles. And I believe the movie followed two or three storylines portraying that God's not dead in our everyday life. Um, Overall, this wasn't really as good as I was hoping it for. The full name is God's Not Dead: Evidence for God in an Age of Uncertainty by Rice Brooks. Brooks, I don't know. Has two O's, which Brooks, but then CK. So Brooks, I don't know. Um, but this wasn't as good as I was thinking it would be. It's also at times rather, it's both in depth, but then also rather basic. And what do I mean by that? The first like 2/3 of the book is like very in depth with all the topics. The chapter titles though are rather basic, and then as you get down towards the end of the book, you're starting to read pretty much the same exact types of things from certain books. Which is why I'm kind of like trying to branch away from certain Christian books, because of how common and reiterating and repetitive they kind of do be. Overall, I mean, I did. Uh, this book was in my previous apartment for like a solid 2 years. So that may also have played a role in that as well. I believe I still gave this a 4 star overall. Uh, it would have to be a pretty bad Christian book for me to not really give it 4 star. 4 stars is kind of the standard. If I rated any lower, that's a miracle, and or I just have dropped it by then. But that's God's Not Dead. Now, for the one that's probably going to be slightly longer, Project Hail Mary, the critically acclaimed book um, by Andy Weir, author of The Martian. I'm definitely going to be reading The Martian within the next year. This will also was one of the 5 or so movies this year to hit over $1 billion, and I can see why. Now, having watched the movie before reading the book, I can tell that the movie expanded on a few things, but also didn't go in depth in certain things. The way that the science and the physics, and all that stuff is portrayed in the book is very in depth, and it's not treating you as if you're dumb, but it is treating you as if you don't know this science jargon, not that you're have like two brain cells and couldn't pass second grade or something like that. Um, uh, Rocky is um, I don't really know, but I think Rocky is pretty much about the same as it was in the movie, and so that's amazing. Ryan Gosling put on a phenomenal clinic with this role. I do think the book is better. Even though many people have given this 5 stars or over 5 stars, personally, for me, here's the thing about star ratings for books. For me, nothing goes over 5 stars. If it's and also I don't outside of Christian literature, I don't really give a book 5 stars too much. If I feel like a um I read through it at the speed of light. I finished it very quickly It flowed very nicely from hit to pit to pit, from bit to bit to bit, and it gelled together, and I really loved the ending. The ending of many books is what I remember the most, and because of that, that impacts the ratings a lot. Overall, the to say all that is to say 10:30 at night. To say all that is to say I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Um, I don't say it's perfect because um, it's not as good. It's not really. It doesn't. Honestly, the book doesn't flow the same as the movie does, which I think is a compliment to the way they made the movie and how well they made the movie. It is insanely great and wonderful sci fi, tells a wonderful redemptive story with Ryland Grace. Um, I know the movie skipped over a lot, and the book also kind of skipped over a few things and like glossed over some stuff. But the overall journey, by the time we actually get to Rocky and Dr. Grace, by the way, I always yawn during these videos. Rocky and Grace interacting and all those interactions made the book and made it go from here to here in just no seconds at all. And Rocky as a character is the reason why this is such a good book. Of course, the adrenaline rush of will they actually accomplish what they need to accomplish, and will they finally click, and will they do all this, and also what will Grace decide ultimately? Will he go over to save Earth, or will he save the Iridians, and will he go back to Earth eventually later? And all that pretty much gets answered. And of course, as you have seen in the movie, and as you have probably read in this book, um, he decides to go to Iridians, and he basically gets to live out his days teaching science to a bunch of little rocks that are intelligent beings. And they start sharing their science and stuff like that. Um, over so yeah, the also the visual effects of the movie. I will be doing a movie versus book, or pretty much movie and book and everything about that with Project Hail Mary probably next week. I have a lot of things coming up soon, so yeah. So yep, that is pretty much it. This is a bit shorter and just a bit concise of trying to get all my thoughts together. Also, I can't stop looking down this title. This cover art for this book is absolutely amazing, and I can't really stop looking at it. The yellow right here, it reminds me of a shot from the movie. But anyways, let's get this on out to y'all before 11 p.m. hopefully. Maybe even around 10:45. I don't know. But if you watch this, I thank you all. If you I thank you all for watching. If you've watched a part of this, the beginning, the middle, the end, it doesn't really matter. So I just thank you all for watching, and I thank you all for the support. Subscribe and hit that like button. They both help me out a lot as I am trying to grow this channel, and as I want to make this into part of my eventual dream job. And so I thank you all for watching. Have a blessed and wonderful night. I will see you all tomorrow for a new and renewed weekly recap as we come back after a impromptu break that I just didn't film stuff. And so I thank you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, and God bless you all.